All right.
All right.
Aloha and welcome to Lucy's Paradise Podcast in Arizona.
I'm just adjusting myself naturally, the Libra.
With Vada.
Hi, Lucy.
Vada Ashley. Hi.
Welcome to my home. I'm good.
This is amazing. Thank you for letting me shoot a podcast here. This is awesome.
Thanks for letting me be on your podcast. It's been in the talks for a bit of time, so it kind of feels like real, but also like dreamland a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not a huge fan of Arizona, but
it's okay. I don't really know who is. I think people lie to themselves. I mean,
I
like living here, but it's
dry.
It's not even the weather that gets to me. It's just a little bit of a culture shock sometimes.
Oh yeah, like my Uber driver.
Yeah, the man that said no beverages.
That was weird. Yeah,
he could have charged you $200 if you
like I was a child. It was just weird because. Yeah, I was surprised, but I was like, fuck it, I'll get another Uber.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how we know each other.
Okay. Well, we met
in the Periscope phase.
Did we meet each other online before we met each other in real life? Because I felt like we met in real life first.
No, I think no, but it was around the Periscope era.
Yes. Okay, so it was around the Periscope era. 9 years ago now, almost 10 years ago. Yeah. Wow. It was 2016. Oh my God, it was 2015. Never mind, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Anyway.
I drove you to Dinah.
Yeah, I got in the car.
She was a content creator. She was always like this.
Was going to fly there myself, like a grown-up, because I was in LA for work. And I was like, I'm not getting in the car with these random lesbians that I've never met. That sounds terrifying. One of them asked me if I like red wine and said there was a box. I'm like, it wasn't you, but I'm like, and then somehow I got in the car and it was fine.
Yeah,
like it somehow turned out to be fine. Lucy was not scary. We got there safely.
I wasn't a stalker. I wasn't a murderer.
No,
it worked out.
No, and you didn't like try to stay in my room or anything like that. So it was good because I had my own room. I was just like trying to set boundaries because you never know with people like what their intentions are truly.
And Dinah's kind of like. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different lesbians there, so you don't really know, like,
I didn't know
what
anyone.
Everyone's into.
And I wanted to be free to kind of, like, do my own thing. I had just recently come out, like, literally that day on the internet. I was in LA to be on someone else's show called Closet Confessionals, and I had just told. Ooh. And so here I am, like, I want to go have this experience of being out and being around all these lesbians that I had never gotten before. If I get in these car with these two girls, am I going to be kind of like stuck with them the whole time? You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be free to do my own thing, and I just didn't want to feel chained to anybody or obligated. And so I just like set up enough boundaries, I felt like, with you guys, even though I didn't really need to at the end of the day, but yeah, it was fine.
Right. But yeah, when you don't know someone, yeah, you want to make sure.
It's a bit of a drive too.
It's a bit of a drive. I think my friend at the time just gave me a room there. So I just had a room there.
You were at the Hilton.
My plan wasn't really to go to Dinah, but I picked up somebody else also. No, it might have just came on. No, it's just hanging a little. It's fine.
It's fine. It's like, all right, so that's how we know each other. Just like the whole lesbian scene. I don't know if you lived in LA at the time.
I did.
Okay. I was in the Seattle area. But then by the time I moved to LA, you were gone. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
I joined the military and then I was in Hawaii.
You saved yourself.
Sort of. Yeah. I don't
know what's more scary, the lesbian scene or the military.
The lesbian scene.
That's real. That's real.
Probably the lesbian scene, I think. It's a little scary. Dinah was a lot. I remember that was like the first time I ever live streamed, and that's why I got all these followers on Periscope, and it was
people didn't even know.
I didn't know how to like utilize this new fame that I got, and then Vada was there. She's like, "Let me teach you."
People did not know what live streaming was back then. That's why I was there. I got myself. I was like not really that extroverted, not into going to things like that. But if I have a job or a gig to do them, it gives me this sense of security.
Right.
So I wanted the experience, but I needed to have a reason why I was there. That wasn't just me going. And so I somehow got connected with, actually it was like the Crave industry side, which was like another party of, not really Dinah, but it was Dinah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
To come and live stream like the DJ sets. And so, yeah, that was my,
that's fun.
And
then there was a night that y'all wanted me to come out, so y'all like talked to the security and pretended that I was the next DJ.
Yes.
And so
yes, we got you into the white.
I basically snuck into Dinah. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
I have never once paid for a ticket to Dinah Shore.
Me neither. Well, I mean, I've only gone twice, but yeah, we did not have tickets
for any of the events.
Well, I did for the white party, but I only had a +1.
Okay.
We got you in because she looked like
I'm
a
the
DJ. Yeah, but then you never DJ'd.
No, so I'm sure the security guard was like, "Wait a second."
It worked though.
But it worked
I
out
about that.
And I always had like a towel over my arm, which hid the non-existent wristband that I had.
The second year.
I only went once.
So, oh, no, it was the first year.
I think I only went
I
once.
had a really rough time the second year. It was kind of scary.
Oh, was it?
It's okay.
I think it's all depends on who you go with.
It's just where you're at mentally, you know.
Like I'm kind of like over
probably
the
want to have your head on your shoulders before you thrust yourself into a party environment, but most people don't. I didn't. I was still learning about
yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
And like
I guess it depends too on like what your whole point of going is.
Yeah, that's true. I had a completely different.
Like if you're gonna go have a fun pool party and a staycation or whatever little vacation, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I could see myself going for those reasons, but
maybe we're at the Olivia cruise age.
That's
I met somebody who's gone. She had a great time, but it was expensive.
Oh, was it?
I don't know.
Are there no kids? Are there kids or no kids
on Olivia?
Yeah. Like,
I doubt it. It's a lesbian cruise.
Oh. Okay.
It's like what the Dinah people do when they hit 40.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So what's the appeal? Just making friends with a bunch of other gays?
The same appeal as going to Dinah, but it's just like
I
people are a little more established. They have more money, so they're able to pay for more than debauchery.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's as... I almost said sinful.
Sinful.
I don't think it's as wild.
Yeah, I feel like Dinah's kind of more.
It's more domesticated. Like couples, I think, will go and just. I mean, it's an older crew, just because they can afford that sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't really have the desire, but I did meet someone that went on the Olivia cruise recently.
I'll look into it. But yeah. I'm not
oh my gosh, Lucy's Paradise live on not live maybe, but on the Olivia.
That would be.
That would be cool.
That would be
a reason to go.
That would be. Yeah, I'm sure there'd be some fascinating people to interview.
I would have a blast with that if I had a job, not just to go as a guest.
It's interesting the like jobs that people have on there, and then they're just on the cruise the whole time.
I know,
like you're a hairstyler or a hairstylist on the cruise.
Think about that with like even fitness instructing. There's a branch of bar that has, I think it's Pure Bar, but it's like at sea. You're literally a bar instructor on a boat. Like, I mean, I wouldn't like that personally, but I think that's.
But then they can get off the ship and stuff on their days off and like go explore. That's kind of cool. Well, that's kind of a cool.
I might be going on a cruise here soon. Maybe we'll see. It's like my biggest
wait until you get hired. Wait, why?
My wife, like, she connects to cruise life. Why is it my biggest fear? I don't really have a lot of fears, to be honest. But it's the ocean. The ocean, I don't really understand. It's
very vast.
I hear boats disappear and just.
That's the Bermuda Triangle. We're fine.
I'm not going to the Bermuda
Triangle. Yeah.
But apparently there's like cruise that you can kind of like stay by the coast. You're not like out, going through like Drake's Pass, that's what I think of when I think of a cruise where the water's just.
Are you just like thinking of the Titanic every time you think?
Yes. And then
it's not 1912 anymore. Okay, there's enough lifeboats.
Use Titanic protocol, which means that the rich people get off first.
Even I thought today, it was women and children.
Apparently not. It's like lower deck locked in.
What?
I saw it on TikTok.
Not
that that's reliable.
There were orphans that survived.
Are we talking about the Titanic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they must have jumped into the water.
No, they went into a lifeboat.
I don't know. My algorithm is really messing with me right now, though.
Don't believe everything you see online.
I don't, but it was somebody that used to work for like Carnival. That's like a big cruise ship line.
Because some of the richest people actually died. A lot of the richest couple on the Titanic, like, just died.
That's true. It was really cool.
And a lot of males that were wealthy were like, let the women and children go, and ended up
I think if I talk about going on a cruise enough, there's no way I could die on the cruise.
I feel like you're more likely to die in a car accident on the way to the cruise.
Oh, for sure. I fight for my life every day. And
I feel like you're more likely to get struck by lightning than die on a cruise, probably.
Probably, especially here. There's storms.
Yeah, I mean, with the way airplanes are going down every day, we're more likely to die.
I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
Which is also, it's a higher percentage, but
yeah. I don't want to live my life in fear. I mean, I really stress not to, and so it's not very in alignment for me to be this afraid of something. But it's also like the thought of like, what if I got on it and I didn't like it, and then I'm just on this cruise?
It's pretty fucking fun. You're in your own world.
Okay.
Yeah. I went on a 9-day Carnival cruise around the Mediterranean that started in Spain.
I'm just gonna have to trust and just do it. I don't think I should not go.
If you get one, it's just cool because they're like all inclusive, and you can. I like to get a room that's like more towards the center, so there's less like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't have a window?
No, I mean you have a window, but you're more in the middle of the ship. So because of the movement.
Okay. I didn't even know about that.
At an end.
Okay.
Which can be like, I mean, I get slightly seasick. It just depends. But I was drinking at that time too.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I've only been seasick once on like a catamaran. It was actually in Hawaii. I was so excited.
Yeah.
It was like dinner catamaran ride.
That's so fun.
I was just so sick. I was not prepared for that. I didn't think I would. What's that?
Is that my phone?
Oh my gosh, that's my timer.
Oh, that's your phone.
To go to work. I don't need to go yet, but.
Oh my god, I thought that was my phone. I was like,
no,
okay,
I set a timer to remember my speaker and then also to remember to go to work. Just because overstimulation.
So you do dilly dally a lot?
No, I don't dilly dally. But when I'm on my own, like I'm less ADHD. But then if there's someone around, sometimes I just get a little. Lately, my brain's just been a little extra foggy. So the alarm system keeps me accountable.
Work.
I've never missed a shift.
You will now because we ignored the alarm. No, that's funny. Do you want to talk about your content?
Where
is this going?
Where is it going?
What is your vision for it?
Well, my vision for my content has actually changed because when I first started streaming, I didn't really have a vision at all. I was just going live and using that as kind of an escapism / an almost unmasked arena / somewhere I could get like energy
almost like your own therapy.
Yeah, exactly. It was very therapeutic, and also it was an outlet to perform. And I thought, this is great because I had done acting my whole life. Now I can kind of do my own show in my room and just do whatever. And it felt very safe. But as I kind of, I don't want to say got older, but as I progressed in life, there's been actually some eras where I wasn't streaming at all in LA. I kind of didn't do much there. And I sort of thought that it was done. Like I was sort of laying that to rest and I was at peace with that. But when I left LA, I had an opportunity to come stream on this platform that is no longer, it was like a beta platform. And it ignited the passion again for streaming. It was so weird because it was kind of like a blast from the past. It was a platform that so many of the people that I used to know for Periscope were on. And I was just going live there with no expectations. Just because I was healing from a breakup, I needed a distraction. I was staying at my parents' house. I was in a transition. Like I needed just something positive. And I was like, maybe I'll just try streaming again.
Yeah.
And I did. And it was almost like I was handed a second chance at something that I thought had not failed. I just thought it had ended.
Yeah.
And so I got into that again. I was really starting to like heal from things with my creativity. I had been diagnosed with PTSD and I didn't realize how much that can affect your creativity until I started learning more about it. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what triggers were. I didn't know any of these things. And so part of why I stopped too is my brain wasn't able to be creative. And I didn't really understand why. I was just like, I thought I was just creatively stunted.
Unknowingly had a block.
I had a block that I knew was there, but I didn't know why the block was there.
Interesting. When I learned the block was there because of the PTSD, that helped me understand and start to like learn what my triggers were because I didn't even know what was happening in my brain. Right. So anyways, push comes to shove, like to heal from something like that, you need to get out of fight or flight first. And to get creative again, you have to get out of fight or flight first. But not knowing that I was in fight or flight
constantly, I didn't know I needed to get out of it because I didn't
Right.
know. It wasn't until I, during the pandemic, started singing just for fun, nothing serious, on a karaoke mic.
Do you still do that on your lives?
Yeah,
wonder.
sometimes, yes. It's very, very, very fun. And it is so healing. If I'm having a bad day or anxious, like it just lifts my vibe instantly. I don't care how stupid I look. A lot of people probably think it's so cringe, so second and embarrassment. But when you can get over that, that's when you can actually step into healing parts of you that you're avoiding healing. Sometimes you have to get cringe to heal, especially when it's like inner child stuff. So, anyways, what's I at?
Just expressing that you sing sometimes.
Oh, right.
To
So
get
the neurons started like firing.
leave
My brain
fight or flight
again.
to be able to
Yes. So
heal
with
and be
that
creative.
singing, something started happening in my brain. I suddenly was getting these little creative moments again, and I'm like, it's going into the other side of my brain now. I'm not always in fight or flight. The more I started experiencing that, the more fight or flight became like this horrendous feeling that I would do anything I could to avoid. So at that point, I knew I got to leave LA, work on myself, whatever. I started streaming, and I know this was a little bit stepping back, but essentially, I was able to start doing creative stuff again. So that block and that second chance at streaming also came with healing of myself. So I'm not totally healed from PTSD or anything like that, but you can definitely get so much better, you know, and live a pretty normal life.
Tell me about your parents.
My parents?
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I don't know.
My dad is a pediatric clinical psychologist. He was also in the Army. So I was a military brat until I was like 10, I think. When he got out, started his own practice. My mom always stayed home. She, passed away.
I thought she was the one that was the psychologist. Okay, that's interesting.
No,
that's interesting.
My dad, and that's really,
you know, a lot of like psychology stuff. That's why
I think anybody that's raised with a parent like that gets so much exposure of just like, I almost said the doctrine, but just that stuff. But it doesn't necessarily make you a more self-aware person. It just gives you the knowledge, and we can have all the knowledge, and if you're not applying anything, like, who cares, right? That's why like some psychologists are the most messed up people out there, because they have all this information and they understand, but they're not necessarily working on themselves. They're projecting out and like dealing with other people's issues. But though I had an understanding, I was needing a lot of work, inner work. So I don't know.
I feel like that's like the good and bad thing of like going with the flow a little bit, is like you kind of go with the flow, but then you get caught up in like these relationships or like these scenarios, and you don't realize like that aren't as healthy until obviously hindsight's often 2020, and then you're
pick
like,
up the pieces. Yeah. Well, it's part of life, is just making mistakes. But this last couple of years, I felt like I've definitely done the most growth, and in that has come an evolution of my streaming to doing something serious online, which, I mean, I'm not fully serious, but what I used to do was very goofy, very much like theatrical play, like
people just kind of came out. I mean, it
was like a hangout
Vada's
spot.
vortex.
Yeah, but now I do sound healing on there. Yeah. And that's very sacred to me, and that's something that I started to do for my own like healing, brought it to the internet. I never thought I would be online doing something vulnerably serious. I thought it was always going to be a form of escape. So this has been very different than anything I've ever done. And I realized that the second hand of streaming was kind of to get me comfortable in that arena again, to show me that it wasn't done. And in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to do something serious to help people online, like more than what I was doing. I know I wasn't not helping people before. It's giving them somewhere to like hang out and relax, and connection is important. But beyond that, it was pretty surface. And for me, and for my healing, and for my fun. Whereas this is very much more transactional, which I know a lot of people probably think that that's not a good thing. But I believe that all relationships are transactional, and so that they should be a healthy transaction. And when I'm going live now, it's a type of audience that I feel aligned with, that I would actually want to hang out with in real life. And it's so important to surround yourself with people who are on that same level, so you don't dip, right? So it's not like we're better than people or anybody's we're just all at different stages. But
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to head a certain direction, you need to surround yourself by those types. And my community for the first time is a community of people that I feel like we're all kind of at the same spot. Some of them might be a little like different thoughts, different beliefs, but like we all want to be better. None of us are just looking to escape, numb. That's not it. We all on a soul level are trying to work on ourselves. And so that's been actually healing on a different level.
Do they kind of like tell you like what they're
Oh yeah. I mean, that's never been anything abnormal. People open up. Like I know a lot, but with this, it's not so much like the trauma dumping stuff. Like these people are self-aware of even the fact that that's not the best thing to do.
Right.
So, whereas before it was a lot of me moderating, I don't want to say low vibes, but just people that hadn't really reached the point of, I have to fix myself and somebody outside of me can't do it.
Self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that started to get draining. And I also was actually seeing myself dip a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of why the live streaming for me is hard, because there's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do get the draining, so what I like about podcasts and the content that I make is that I can just make it and then I can just put it out. And if you don't like it, you don't have to
100%
forget it.
Yeah. Well, as a streamer, I say
streaming is a grind.
If you are not enjoying your stream, you shouldn't still be live.
Right.
You should always stop your stream when you are having a good time and you want to keep going. That will prevent burnout, because the one thing I always kind of like, yes, we're all content creators, but I have a category of live streaming on its own that's very separate from just being a content creator, because it does have that constant interaction, which is very different. And so for that, like, you have to be smart about it. The one thing that happens with live streamers is they burn themselves out and then they disappear for 6 months. And now you have this audience that's been supporting you and somewhat sustaining your lifestyle, and you're nowhere to be found. So like, I think there's a certain responsibility that you have, if you're taking it seriously as like a career, which it can be, to be consistent, not every day, but to be reliable for your audience. They know you're going to be around as a community, because if they're subscribing to you and they're like, you know, showing up for you, you need to also show up for them. We don't go live when we don't feel like it. It's not that, but it's the longevity of it. I could take a week off, but they know over the years that I still show up again.
It's crazy how long you've been streaming.
I mean, I had like, you know, that one weird break, but it was different.
Yeah. But you still, like, you had kind of a following then. It's not like you started then, like you were already in it.
Yes. Yeah. And those people, a lot of them, most of them are still here. But I've also picked up now all these amazing new people that I just feel so grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for this. And there's also more girls in my streams.
Oh, really?
Because a lot of the times I felt like my audience was so male dominated, which I had to kind of like, I was goofy still, and I was still, but I was very almost in my masculine energy when I'd be streaming that way. And I got so comfortable in that kind of side that I started losing a bit of my softness, I would say. And I think that that's important as a woman, even if you're so masculine, whatever. And I'm very feminine, but like, I have kind of a hardened side to me.
Yeah, I love when like a troll comes in and then you get all.
But I don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't do that. Like, that was lowering my vibration. Though I'm good at that, I was still joining them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works. It gets people to follow you, but it wasn't something I could see myself doing forever. You imagine like 70-year-old.
Yeah, because then you're just gonna be arguing online.
Yeah, it's so gross. Like, no, now it's like people who want to be there, and somebody comes in and trolls, and like sometimes I'll say something, but for the most part now I just ignore them and don't. And they just take themselves out.
Yeah, and I'm sure your followers kind of don't let it happen anyway.
Well, they see that it's already kind of an established community. You don't stand a chance trolling in there. It's just like silly. But you know, I have my days.
So what is a sound bath supposed to like do energetically?
Good question. So sound healing is great for a lot of different things. Primarily, I got into it for my nervous system and like anxiety and stuff, but it promotes relaxation. It promotes healing of the body on an energetic level and also a physical level. So a lot of people think that it's very like woo-woo, but there's scientific basis behind frequency that you can research. I mean, feel like it's corny to say, but like NASA has studies on it and stuff about the benefits of even crossing 2 types of frequencies.
Right.
Because there's all different types of frequencies. Like everything exists on a frequency that is alive.
Yeah.
So I do some frequency crossing. The most probably traditional frequency that people are familiar with is 432 or 528. 432 is a very good, like, general, just brings calm, helps you kind of get into maybe a meditative state. But what it can do on a cellular physical level, and I think that's the most interesting thing, is when the vibrations or the frequencies kind of like, when you feel them, your cells respond. So like if you were looking at the cells under a microscope while somebody was listening to sound healing, you would see them going like this. Active cells are happy cells. So when your cells are moving like that, they're detoxing, they're cleansing, they're pushing stuff out a lot faster. So just like after a massage, you need to drink water because things are flushing through your system a lot faster. This is basically another way to flush things through your system faster. And you don't think about it because you're just like, oh, it's sound. Like, how could it do that? But your cells respond in a way that it helps detox. So a lot of people sometimes have to go to the bathroom afterwards. They get nauseous, pee more, like sweating. Like you can have those sorts of physical responses when there's different blockages in the body.
Interesting.
Good for insomnia, really good for just calming nervous systems. And maybe you're somebody who doesn't meditate well, or you think you can't. There's different forms of meditation. I'm somebody with a busy mind, but if I just sit down in front of my sound bowl sometimes and just go like this, it just can be a grounding activity.
Yeah.
So it's something that everybody can do. Like there'll be people out there with sound bowls that gatekeep and act like you need to be this, like, but if you get a bowl and you sit down, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's just, of course, there's different music theory and like harmonies, and you can get very knowledgeable on, like, you should know what the chakras stand for and like what energy point is everything. But as far as just like intuitively playing, I think that that's more beneficial than going to some school and listening to someone tell you how to do it, when really you should just be rooting in and like feeling what you're doing.
Right. So, that's interesting.
I think that kind of covers like what it does, what it can do. But there's just there's a lot of benefits, even as the practitioner, It's a good grounding practice.
Do you like record the live stream and then have it up?
No, I need to start doing that.
Because I was going to say that could be really good for YouTube too. I know.
That's
you hate me.
My wife is probably like, see, if she heard that.
Because then they could do like, you could do like a nighttime one, and then that could be like the one people listen to.
It's just a matter of sitting down and recording the session. That's like really all it is. Yeah. Because when I do that, I want it to look nice, and I don't want to talk.
You can always whisper ASMR.
Well, that would be that style of it. But I want to have some on YouTube that are just like me not saying anything.
Yeah, I think that would still be cool. I would definitely like fall asleep to that.
Yeah. And people ask all the time if I have recorded stuff, but I just haven't yet. I never thought I'd be that type of content creator. But that's why we have to have an open mind, because never say never, right? I never thought I'd stream on TikTok. Horrifying.
Yeah.
I like to hide on Twitch. It's cozy.
It's cozy.
People from real life don't even know how to get on there to watch.
TikTok's just blowing up.
People just you can see their names enter. I'm like, but it's humbling to stay vulnerable. Especially doing something like that, where it's like, sometimes I do share like vulnerable things about myself.
That would be fun to go live on TikTok.
It is really fun, but it's the place where, I mean, anybody can watch you anywhere, but everybody's on TikTok.
Yeah,
and like I see their names. Like I don't think they stay, but like I see people. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know. My one thing I still need to get over, and not caring what people think about me, is how I feel people perceive me. It's not like I'll do anything and I'll make myself look dumb. Like I love goofing off and singing and whatever, but I feel like sometimes I know how people see me, and I don't like that. So it's good to be on TikTok.
That's like
it's
a control
therapy.
thing. You gotta
is.
just
It's work that I still have to do.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense why I'm getting the most momentum on TikTok, because that's the one place where, if you would say, where would you not want to stream? I would say TikTok. No way. So I think universe is like, all right, well, let's give you a following on TikTok.
That's so funny. No, TikTok's
How
just,
long have I been just like grinding on Twitch, you know? And then I
Yeah.
just go live on TikTok and boom. Like,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm grateful. It's not that I'm not grateful. And it's so
Yeah.
easy to mobile stream. That is very nice.
Yeah. Well, we never had that before.
Well, we did with Periscope. And
Right, but Periscope was like the Wild Wild West, so they needed to clean that up a lot. So there was no way that was gonna stay forever.
no.
I mean,
No
I
app stays
would get
forever.
death threats. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, that got me away from social media. I think like the whole time I was in LA, I was not really on social media at all, because it was just, there was so much of that, and I was like, I am not ready for that
Yeah.
maturity wise. And then when I joined the military, it was like, okay, well, then I don't even need to be involved in that now.
Yeah. Now it's safe. You're
Yeah.
like wise enough. I also feel like wise enough now. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, but there's so many different things in place now where
Mhm.
like, you know, you can filter certain comments, you can with
Yes.
even with moderators on Twitch, like that's such an advancement to what Periscope was. Periscope didn't even have that. Like,
Yeah.
people could just say all kinds
It
of
was
crazy
really
shit to you,
wild.
and it was wild. Like, somebody told me they were gonna fly to Hawaii and like murder me. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
what?
nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it,
I had some crazy experiences on there as well. That was my first like internet, like anything having to do with anything like that. It was scary. People found out where I lived on that one.
oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, what? Yeah, people are psycho. We don't have any psychos now.
No,
That's
it's
good.
like so safe right now. Knock on something. It's like I don't have anyone weird. They usually
good.
when you have an online presence, and mine is very small. Like I'm like a baby streamer at this juncture. But
She's gonna say that for
everyone's-
the rest of her life.
I mean, I look at anyways. I have no one scary right now. Like there's not even anybody that I have like a little bit of like a you know. I mean, I'm sure they could show up, but
That's good.
because it's not what I'm.
It's
sound bowls
it's
bring
what
a
you've
different
created.
crew.
Yeah,
It just draws in a different crowd.
It's the community
This
you've
is a tennis
created.
skirt, by the way. People really, it's tennis skirt season on TikTok,
Oh,
and it's very controversial.
is it?
Yes,
Wow.
have some self-respect. They don't
I love
understand that they're built-in shorts. I mean, this is the desert.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck. I love how people that are not athletic enough to play tennis are into pickleball. That's funny to me.
Pickleball is huge here.
Yeah, it's fun. I get the appeal. I understand, but
I've
it's
never played.
funny because, like, yeah, I feel like if you just are not physically able to do tennis, you're just like, well, this is pickleball. Closer.
Yes, I played
it's
pickleball
fun.
in middle school. In high
Really?
school.
I like just learned how to play it from my uncle. He taught me in
Oh,
last
we learned how to
summer.
play. It was like racquetballs was like the class.
It was not a
Maybe
thing.
it was in high school. Racket sports.
Racket sport. I
Racket
used to just
sports.
play tetherball,
That was fun. That was on the playground.
hopscotch, and tetherball. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Scotch was good.
So when are you coming to Hawaii and doing content? Soon.
I don't know. Soon, I guess. 2025?
5 or 6.
I don't know. What
I'm
are
gonna
you
be in
doing for your birthday?
Japan.
For your birthday?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Well, that's exciting.
I'll tell
well,
you
then
more
not then.
offline. but
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think I know something that's happening in Japan. I would never say. I think I'm moving there.
To Japan?
Yeah.
What?
So I'll see you.
You're gonna move there? Or are you
Yeah.
kidding?
No. This is the worst humor I've ever had. the worst humor I've
Who
ever
would
had.
translate? What's funny is so my girlfriend met my best friend, and they were like coming up with a plan to go to Korea. My best friend speaks Korean,
Oh, nice.
so I guess that's another trip that we're doing.
That'd be
But
interesting.
I
I
think-
actually have interest to travel to China.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if I'm as interested as I was. I was like really interested in one. I got on Redbook.
Yeah, I did too, but that's only because I thought
I was
TikTok going
making
on.
reels in Chinese. Like I
Oh.
learned a couple sentences.
Oh shit!
Ni hao. That's
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're almost there. You're almost fluent. I feel.
I feel bad for my Chinese friends that I kind of stopped talking to.
No. See, you
I
can't
gotta
ignore.
reconnect.
You gotta,
I know.
You can't. You gotta go back.
They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're so
What
nice.
is what do you even know how to say? Like, what can you say in
Not much more.
Mandarin?
I'd have to like pull up my It's
Okay,
been a
next
couple
time.
months. I don't know.
I don't know a lick of Mandarin.
It wasn't
I don't know.
Mandarin, it was just traditional Chinese,
Oh, okay.
simplified. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Probably the Americanized version of Chinese.
Okay.
Just like Spanish, you know? Like the Spanish you learn in school is not what they're speaking.
Spanglish!
Spanglish. My favorite language.
Yes, I don't speak it. Tried. That was
Yeah,
really bad.
okay.
I took 1 semester in college.
It takes me 3 shots of tequila, and I have to be in Mexico, and I'm fluent.
Nice.
Somehow.
That's
Don't
so
know.
cool.
It's in there 3 years.
The confidence. It says you probably actually know more than you think.
The thing is, I understand and I can write it, but speaking it is a different thing.
Yeah, it's kind of how I am with German, sort of ish.
So no plans to do YouTube, huh?
No, it's not that. No, I do. I'm putting my sound baths on YouTube, just not yet.
Just that.
Vada Ashley is the channel.
Yes, shout out all your stuff.
Ooh.
Shout out
Okay,
all your stuff.
my Instagram, which I actually am finally for the first time in my life trying to grow, is Vada Ashley. And then my Twitch and my TikTok are both Vada Vortex. That's
Vortex.
the confusing
Where
part.
did it come from?
It came from my brain.
Wait, you used to be Veda's
It was Vada's Wonderland.
Wonderland.
One day I just needed a fresh step up.
I like it.
Because
it's more Star Wars.
It
I like
was
it.
headed towards the switch to like doing something else. Like I feel like Vada's Wonderland was very much like me in the karaoke and me in the costumes and the outfits and dressing up and being crazy.
I like the vortex. It like sucks you in more.
This is the now.
Yeah.
It just it was like kind of like a thought like
it's more SpaceX.
I mean,
vibe.
I was already using Vada Vortex for something else creatively. So I liked it and I just want to make that like my mainstream thing.
Yeah, that's good. You pivoted.
I just one day just switched it on Twitch and then I started using it on TikTok and then Instagram. It's just old school.
And then it just stuck. I like it. I like that. I think that's good.
I do too. I like the VV and also I'm in Arizona and there's a lot of vortexes here and our body is kind of like energy vortexes.
They're here?
Yes, lots. A lot in
what the heck?
Sedona and not just in Sedona. I mean, there's vortexes all over, but
Oh, damn.
people go there not prepared to actually have reactions. I thought I'd be fine because, you know, I love like the spiritual stuff and all like I'm thinking, you know, I'll be fine.
You had a panic attack or something?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I was not prepared. Like I got there and I instantly started crying and it was like uncontrollable crying where I was just in a mood that I could not break.
Oh my God.
And I was so excited to go.
I did not know about this.
And got over it and did finally enjoy it. But it was like this emotional like hurdle or this blockage that had to be released first it instantly pulled it out. So there's 2 types of vortexes. There's ones that have more masculine energy and ones that have more feminine energy.
Okay.
And the one that I went to that day was the airport Mesa vortex, which is in Sedona actually. It has a 360 view. That's why we went to that one. It's such an amazing view. But it was masculine energy. And what those ones are said to do with our bodies and our systems is it will like kind of pull energy out. So that manifests differently for people. I'm a crier. So naturally pulling out of me is probably going to result in tears usually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But my friend, I don't know if you remember Sal Breaker from the internet. He's one of my moderators.
Yeah.
He's not into this stuff whatsoever. Went with his dad, also not into this stuff. They're both from like South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like they're just like they were just visiting, like to see sights.
Yeah, sure.
They both
I love that.
Like stomach issues
instantly.
And that's the other thing it could do. It can give you diarrhea or make you nauseous because these are all removals.
Interesting.
Right? So hearing
or did they eat Taco Bell before?
I was like, what did you guys eat? And he's like, well, no. He's like, we both had like this same like, and then it was just done.
I wonder what that means.
It's just blocked energy. I have had people after my sound backs.
Shout out to those that
that's like I
need
would
some juice.
I would be happy if I had that release.
Yeah, that's like 2 pounds.
I don't like the vomiting, nausea stuff. That to me is miserable.
It's almost like a low grade ayahuasca in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Heart opener.
Yeah.
It's a heart opener. So
that I would never do.
I don't feel the call.
That's No, my friend explained it.
No
and
judgment,
yeah, no judgment. It sounds like the ultimate suffering, and I was like, I don't want to suffer anymore. I'm good. I already appreciate life enough. I think
people that do that, I feel, and no judgment at all. Like I said, I think that they need a little help getting to that point where they can let that out. I cry.
Even for the experience, like I'm almost inclined, but because of the stories I've heard, it's like I'm not trying to be in a space with somebody I care about projecting for both ends, and like you know what I mean. Like I think I've been through enough that it's like I think appreciate life.
I think I might consider it and just like going to Dinah, if it was like for something. Like if it was,
so if we were recording the whole ayahuasca ceremony,
yes, and it was like fully funded, because that can get expensive.
Amazon Prime,
and I want to do it somewhere nice. You know what I mean? Like, and I want a babysitter that's so motherly and like will like rub my back and just like I need the bells and the whistles and like very nice accommodations. Like I don't want to do it in like a shack. It needs to be like a really nice hut.
That's funny. I need shaman.
Like I want to look through the catalog and pick my shaman. Like, you know what I mean? Then maybe, possibly, but I would never pay for that. Nor do I like feel pulled or called.
Yeah,
but I was the same way with like mushrooms and stuff. I never felt like a pull to that. It's boring.
It's not as bad though.
It's boring.
It's not as extreme.
No,
ayahuasca seems very extreme.
Yeah. Or like
I'm not trying to meet my like dark angel demon or whatever.
I've already met
whatever.
Yeah. Her name's Jezebel. I put
her.
Oh
my god.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, she went back in my body recently. My dark shadow. My dark passenger.
Oh yeah. From Dexter, I love that.
Yeah, she's my dark passenger, and she shows up sometimes. I don't need to bring her out. She came out a lot in LA. I'm sure you've met her.
She's the only one that I remember meeting.
Really? No, guys, we're still talking.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. I don't like I sound like a crazy person. I'm really not that bad.
No, you were great. You were great. I just remember you were very good at content, and I was like, oh my god. People I knew a lot of people that were like doing it and it was working. Like they were big on YouTube or they were doing that, and it was interesting. I was around them a lot. They were making their own videos all the time. I just like wasn't in that space.
Yeah.
But it was really neat to kind of be on the other side of it and see that for a long time and like see how people did stuff. And a little bit I felt like we would do stuff just so that they could like get content though.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I want to go ice skating. My friend's like, oh yeah, that'd be perfect because then I can do content. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I just want to go ice skating. But now I think like that, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, I mean, when you can kill two birds with one stone, it's just very satisfying.
Yeah.
But if it's like you're feeling like your hangouts and your friendships are now not authentic because they're really only doing it for that reason, then that sucks. Right.
Yeah, not for that reason.
Yeah,
but I try to do like. We're a very minimal of my time frame at whatever location is that, and then the rest of the time my phone. I just not on my phone. Fun fact: in the past 10 days, my screen time went down to 2 hours.
Really?
From like 12 hours.
2 hours? I've never even seen that on mine.
That's how like present I have been in the last 10 days.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Mine has.
I didn't even realize yours has gone up.
Yeah, I don't look at mine a lot, but I'll like catch glimpses of it, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
In my defense, when I'm at work, I am on my phone a lot.
Yeah. Well, TikTok too, if I'm like streaming.
So I will. But putting that into consideration too, I should still be at like. Yeah, 2 is like insane. That means I've literally spent days not on my phone. That's insane.
Like you are just one with the earth, Mother Gaia.
I was going on hikes and waterfall hikes and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have Hawaii to adventure. So
yeah. Wow. Good job. That's really good. It makes me want to try to.
What is your screen time at? I'm curious.
How do I find it?
Go to settings. Go to.
I'm embarrassed. I'm already ahead.
I think it's under.
It always when I see it, it's always so random.
It always pops up for some reason.
Same.
Oh, no, wait, no. Let's see.
Millennials.
I want to say it's under general somewhere. Actually, you know what we could do?
Search for it.
Nice. Damn.
Oh,
Holy shit.
bye. I gotta get off.
We have to end this.
We have to end. I might not be.
Daily average screen
Shut
time
up, Lucy. It's gotten really bad since I moved to Arizona.
is 15 hours and 30 minutes. And you have a 7% increase from last week. Just so you're tracking. That's insane. That's more than mine.
No, I'm telling you, like, it is
better.
bad right now. This never used to be me.
She needs a Hawaii vacation with no phones.
This, like,
it's okay. These content's being made.
I'm speechless.
I'm
I'm shamed, but like we don't carry shame. That's a low vibration. Just let it go.
Yeah, it's like it is. That's what I'm saying. You're getting a lot of work done. That's good.
I am. I mean, that's like this is the office.
Yeah.
Sort of. And I make my playlists on here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to take into consideration,
work stuff.
Those, that stuff. Because there is a good 5 hours of like I'm at work anyway, and I do have time to text or be on Instagram or whatever. That's not really
count against you when you're driving, like using Waze or something. I bet it does.
Yeah, it's probably like full screen time, but it actually breaks it down to like what apps you're using, and like,
well,
so it'll say like social media and it'll say like 9 hours.
Yes, like that's really actually.
So I think it
not that surprising.
It might deep dive into
that. I also sleep to meditation music.
Okay, that could
not every night, but depending on where my brain's at, sometimes.
I would say you're probably close to me. You're probably close to 9 to 10 hours of actual like
that's
social media.
Kind of what I expected to see.
Yeah,
that was scary.
It's okay. That was the overall.
Yeah.
So don't panic too hard. Do you have any last?
I don't.
Advice words?
Don't. No. Advice words.
Or for content creators or anyone who wants to, there could be somebody watching that's like, I wanted to do sound bath stuff on TikTok. Should I do it?
Well, yes, no, absolutely. If you're pulled to do content